for us. And we are looking forward in 6 months, God willing, by the time of the high holidays, we will be here celebrating the holidays together, God willing, all of us together. I just want to share with you a little story about a young man in Poland 100 years ago. He started as a child in Cheder, and then because of circumstances, he became a criminal. And while he was in jail for the 3rd time in Poland, he discovered that he's a writer. And he became a famous Jewish writer. His name was Urka Nachalnik, talking about Poland in the 1920s, 1930s, and 40s. This Urka, when he was and he wrote an autobiography, it's called The Autobiography of a Criminal. He wrote his story and he wanted to make to point how a child who's supposed to be a good boy and started on a good path, how he ended up to be what he was. And he tells a story about his Passover in jail in 1933, in a Polish jail in Poznań. You see, this boy was growing up in a family, in a normal family, and as he was 12 years old, he was capable, he was smart, and his parents decided to send him to a yeshiva not far outside of the city. First year he came home, everything was good. The second year his mother passed away. When he sent letter home to find out what's going on in the home, if his family is going to support him and so on, he never got an answer. His family fell apart. I don't know what happened to his brother and sister. Maybe they were given up to orphanages. The whole house fell apart. He continued a little bit more in yeshiva for a few years, trying to survive. Then he became an Hebrew teacher, but he never was able to make it. Somehow he befriended the wrong kind of crowd, and he became a little criminal. First small things, then bigger things and bigger, and because he was a very smart boy, he did a very good job. And that's how he ended up in jail first time, and the second time. By the 3rd time, he was in a city, it's called Poznań. And in this city, it tells the story, there was a jail of 1,000 inmates. Among them, there were only nine Jewish people, Jewish inmates. And they crowned him as the leader of the group. Why was he the leader? Because he had so much experience already in jail. He was already for the 3rd time. He could tell them all the rules and all the how you survive in such a place. One day he decided he wants to gather all the Jewish guys for Pesach. They should celebrate the Seder together. He talked to the warden, he had connections everywhere, and he agreed, and he told him in the basement there is a room, basically a junk room, and all the junk from the jail was thrown into this room. If you guys want to clean it up, you can get it for the Seder. They all cleaned it up for a whole week, they were working on it. And the room was, even after it cleaned up, it was full of mold and other things. But they put their beds there, and they were ready for the Seder. And the day before the Seder, like the same time as we are now, they were all brought from different rooms to this room. They were excited about each other. Here they're going to celebrate as Jews. And they were all thinking about the Seder they're going to get, the meal, the meat, and the fish, and the gefilte fish, and the matzah ball soup. And they never saw any normal food for such a long time, that they were not even in the mood of eating lunch. Nobody wanted to eat lunch. They were all excited, they were all nice to each other. And they knew that Nachalnik, their leader, he took care of everything. It's going to be a Seder. They're sitting in the room, and one of them even remembered pieces from the Haggadah by heart. He started to sing some songs of the Haggadah, just like our cantor did now. And it's getting later, and they're waiting for the door to be open to bring the food in. And they're waiting and waiting and waiting. And it's getting dark by the window that they had there, and nothing is happening. And so this darkness brought with them such depression and disappointment, that they were expecting a meal, and they were so excited about the Seder, and nothing. Everybody was sitting in his own corner, quiet. Nobody said a word. He said he was thinking about his time when he was home he he remembers when he came the first year from the yeshiva to the Seder. His father was sitting by the table like a king, his mother like a queen, and he was sitting with his brother and sister, and they asked him to say a Dvar Torah, like a little speech about the Seder, and he was giving his speech, and his father was beaming with naches, and his mother was crying from joy. And here he's sitting in jail. He has no family. Nobody cares for him. And he thought that the community in Poison will care for him. The Jewish community, they'll say a meal. Nobody was thinking even about it. And everybody's like sitting quiet. Then he started to pace around the room. And because he was the leader, they all joined them, and they go around the room. In the middle, he stops. He says, I know it's my mistake. It's a leap year this year. Pesach is in a month from now. It's not Pesach yet. He said it. The rest of the other 8 guys said nothing. They knew he's making the subject to make them feel good. But they said nothing. But one guy was like his assistant, told him, no, you're making up the story. And then he told them, I told you to send a letter to the Jewish Federation in Warsaw. They should send food for us for the Seder. You said, no, the community in Poison will take care of us. Nobody took care of us. You didn't reach out to anybody. The rest of the evening, they were kind of blaming each other, blaming him. He was the leader, and pretty upset. He fell asleep. In the morning, they hear a knock on the door. The guard comes in. He has 9 packages of matzahs for everyone, a few matzahs and eggs, and he gives them also the bread of what they give to the prisoners every day. They were this came from the community in Warsaw. They were sending out matzah to every prisoner in Poland, every Jewish prisoner. They get the matzah, but this boy, Mr. Nachalnik, the leader, he couldn't take it. He couldn't believe that nobody in Poison, that the warden didn't care for them, that the jail didn't reach out to the community to care for the Jewish inmates. He said to the officer, I need to see the warden. I want to see him. I want to go to the officer. He was taken there, and he started to complain to him, how dare you didn't care for the Jewish prisoners. The warden tells him, you guys, you're not religious people. You don't celebrate Passover. You don't care for the holidays. You just want a good meal. What are you making me up stories? And he's screaming at them, and he's screaming back at them. And he was taken back to the room where all of them were sitting together. A half hour later, he's called back to the warden. He's welcoming him with a smile, and he tells them, you know, I was so happy. One of your friends remembered you. One of your friends, he met one of your criminals who is out, remembered you had a good day. He sent you a big meal. He takes out from under the desk, wrapped, a nice meal. He opens it. There is meat and pork and milk and cheeses and bread and cakes. He tells them, here is your meal. There will be a beautiful way for you to celebrate Passover. With a sarcastic smile. And he said a minute before his stomach was begging for the food, but when he saw what he's doing to him, he's trying to prove him that he's not observing the holiday. He told them, who sent it for me? What's his name? He says, a friend of you. He says, nobody sent it to me. This is not kosher. I'm not allowed to eat it on Pesach. I'm not going to touch it. The warden was shocked. He says, you're going to leave this whole meal here, right here on the table? He told them, yes. This is not for a Jew. You're trying to seduce me, to make me not observe the holiday? Shame on you. He got up and he slammed the door and he left. And he says, the warden looked at him like he couldn't believe that this guy who is a prisoner for so long and has nothing to eat, he will give up on such a meal. When he wrote the memoirs, he says that was the most meaningful Pesach in his life. That he was ready to give up on this meal, even he was so hungry, just because he wanted to make the commitment to eat matzah. You know, on the Seder in the Agada, we have the 4 sons. The wise son, the wicked son, then we have the simpleton and the one who doesn't know how to ask. Really, in the Haggadah should be, if the right order of the four sons should be the wise one, the simpleton, the one who doesn't know how to ask, and the last one should be the wicked one, because he's completely against everything. Why the Haggadah put the wise one next to the wicked one? The Rebbe once spoke about it, and he said something very interesting. He said that by putting the wicked one next to the wise one is to tell us that this wicked one has an unbelievable potential. He cares, he's angry, he's fighting, but there is a neshama, there is a soul there. There is somebody who cares, somebody that's important to him. This boy, this Nachalnik, proved the point. He showed that we never give up on any Jew. It might be for the third time in jail. Was famous in the underworld in Poland. But when push came to shove, and somebody wanted to seduce him to eat chometz on Pesach, he said, no, I'm not going to do it. When his Pinteleid, when his Jewish spark woke up, and the connection woke up between them, he said, it's more important for me to be a Jew. And he went back and he became a writer, and he became a very successful man later in life. Then this teaches us always in life, we have the four sons in the Haggadah. Many times the Rebbe used to say we have a fifth son who never comes to the Seder even. No matter who the son is, no matter where he is, we always reach out to him. We always talk to him, because we know that every Jew has his Jewish spark, that when you wake it up in the right way, when you uncover it, when you touch it, when you light it, it will shine his neshama will shine in the most powerful way, and not only for himself, he will inspire other Jews. This Nachalnik, by writing the story, inspired many Jews later in Poland, and even now it's in a new book that was printed not long ago, that's where I saw it, to inspire other Jews to observe the holiday of Pesach. My dear friend, that's what it's all about. We are celebrating Pesach. Even we are everyone in his own family, but we are one big Jewish people. We are all connected through Zoom and to many other things, but not just to the Zoom, to our shared destiny, to our spark, Jewish spark. We are connecting together, and we will overcome this plague. And next year in Jerusalem, next year out of the Corona, next year celebrating the Jewish holiday, all of